Pause what?
You said something gay, so you gotta say no homo, or else you a homo.
But what did I say gay?
You said you was gonna give this dude everything you got, no homo.
That's not gay. I said I'm gonna give the man everything I got.
Pause,
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Moji, and for those of you guys who are new to my channel, on my channel I basically make booktube videos, and sometimes I make videos showcasing my opinion on certain topics. So for today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys a couple of pro-black books, or just books by black authors that you guys can read, because I'm aware of everything that's happening right now, and some people, they want to educate themselves more on the subject. So I'm just going to be showing you guys some books that you guys can read just to educate yourselves on what's happening, as well as kind of losing yourselves in a book, because I know with social media right now it's extremely toxic and there's just so much like trauma online. So if you guys just want to get distracted and just like read a book while educating yourselves, I have a couple of books that I'm going to be showing you guys today. A majority of my books are from black authors, and as I said like in multiple videos, I kind of just buy books, and I was kind of in a reading slump for like 6 months. So some of the books I have read and some of them I plan on reading during the summer. So the first book that I have with me, you wouldn't really like initially think that it's about like black or the black struggle, but it is, and it's Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. So this book I feel like is a really good distraction because one, it's a fantasy book, so it's really fun to read, and it's also educating yourself on the subject of the black struggle at the same time. So with this book you kind of like have to kind of dig a little deeper to understand, but like it makes you, the thing about this is because since like everything isn't like right in your face, they're not really explaining everything and like how this kind of relates to the black struggle, like you kind of get upset because of the things that happen in the story, and then you kind of relate it with what is happening in the United States right now, and you can kind of see like why people are upset, which is really nice, because with this fantasy book you can explain like the black struggle, but like in a kind of subliminal way, because you wouldn't initially see it right away. So I just love this book because it kind of explains that, but it doesn't like say it in direct words. So it's a fantasy at the same time, so it's kind of like, you know, I didn't really explain what the book is about, but basically the book is about this girl Zaylee, and the world kind of, magic no longer exists in the world. Though in the world magic used to exist, and people had like magical powers and they can like do a whole bunch of stuff, but at some point someone takes magic away, and basically the story is about Zaylee trying to get magic back. But if you read the book you can really see how it relates to the black struggle, like how magic was kind of taken away and like black people are kind of trying to find their way. So eventually they do find their way, which is really nice because like the book kind of has a happy ending, but happy endings for black people in the world, let's okay, anyways, I don't want to make this video cynical, but yeah, this book is actually a play, and I suggest you watch the play while you read the play, because me, I've never like read the play directly, but it's for colored girls who have considered suicide when the rainbow wasn't enough. This is actually my favorite play. I'm gonna link the actual play on YouTube because there's a Tyler Perry movie adaptation, which is, I don't know, I kind of like it, but a lot of people don't like it. But like that's when Tyler Perry actually made good movies. But that movie was one of my favorites, but the play is way better than the movie. So I really suggest that you guys watch the play. This play is basically, I think it's like 7 black women, and it's kind of like the struggles of that black women have to go through, or that black women go through. So it's really like insightful, and it's just a really good play to watch. Like I really love the play. It's really good. So I suggest you guys watch it. But yeah, it's just kind of explaining things that black women kind of have to go through in their daily lives, like struggle love and just like a whole bunch of stuff that black women kind of face. It's a really good play, and I suggest you guys read it. The next book that I have is kind of an obvious book, but it's The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. The Hate You Give is one of my favorite books, and I haven't read it in a really long time, but I'm scared to read it because I read On the Come Up and I didn't like it, so I'm scared that if I read this book I won't like it. But The Hate You Give, when I read it, it was really like such a good book, and it really kind of explains like what's happening. It's exactly what's happening in the world right now in terms of Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is in this book. So I didn't explain it, but the book is basically about this girl. Her name is Star Carter, and one day she goes to a party, and when she's driving back home with her best friend, he gets killed by the police. So it's like exactly what is happening in the world right now. So there's a lot of they talk about police brutality, Black Lives Matter. They talk about how how she kind of lives in the hood and she goes to a school where there's predominantly white people, so she's like the only black person. There's only 2 black people in her school, her and this black guy, so it's kind of like it talks about that type of dynamic as well. So it's just really insightful, and it like explains like the Black Lives Matter movement, and explains what I really love about Angie Thomas. She does this like thing where she can explain the side of like the people that are like directly faced with police brutality, like the family that is directly killed, which is something that I really like to see, because I feel like people, they don't really talk about that much, like how the family might be feeling. They kind of just go out and like loot and they riot and stuff like that, but they don't really like look at the families directly and see how the family might be feeling. So I look a mess right now, but I'm editing, so I don't feel like I kind of explained what I meant, and you guys are probably not gonna really understand what I meant, but I basically was trying to say, I just bit my tongue. I basically was trying to say how, like, although people, like, black people are directly faced with police brutality, like, they're the ones that are affected by it. I feel like people, they don't really take into consideration the families and how the families might feel, because, like, we go out, we protest, we riot, some people, they might loot, but it's like we do all of these things because we want to see change, but we don't really think about how that family might be feeling. We kind of, like, ignore the voice of the family and kind of scream louder than the family that is directly affected. Like, we probably scream louder than George Floyd's family. Like, the protests and everything that's happening, it kind of goes above George Floyd's family and how that family might directly be impacted by his death. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. So the thing about The Hate You Give is, like, it really explained how the family of Khalid, who's the guy that dies in the book, is directly affected by police brutality and is directly affected by his death. Like, Star is his best friend, so she's the one that might have felt his death the most. And, like, we might not really necessarily think about, like, George Floyd's his best friend, like, how he might be feeling at this time. Like, people that are killed by the police, they unknowingly become like the figureheads of Black Lives Matter and the figureheads of like what we're fighting for and what we want to change, but we don't really see, like, they didn't want, like, some people might not really want all of that attention. So the thing about Angie Thomas's books, it's like you can see how the media might twist certain things to their own agenda, and how like the families might directly be impacted by the deaths of these people. And it's just a really good thing that she always does in her books. Like, on The Come Up, she did a really good job at like explaining how that family might feel, and I just love that aspect of Angie Thomas's books. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say. So yeah, I look a mess, but like I just woke up and I'm editing this video, so yeah. The next book is one of my favorite books. I've read it so many times, and it's No Disrespect by Sister Souljah. This book is something that I just love to read whenever I'm in a reading slump. It's basically a memoir about her life and how she kind of went from the hood, and how she kind of learned how to educate herself, how she just wanted to learn about and help her people. Like, she wants to help Black people. Like, it's just a memoir basically, but the thing about it is just super interesting because she's a really good storyteller, and like I love reading this book. It explains like colorism. It explains just kind of how people treat you differently if you're educated, if you're not educated. It just talks about a lot of stuff that happened in the hood. Like, it's just a really good memoir to read. No Disrespect by Sister Souljah is something that I really love reading, and I definitely recommend this book. This is like probably the book that I recommend the most because I just love this book so much, and I've read it a lot of times just because, as I said, it's a really good book. And I have my blanket with me because my room is so cold, so I'm like trying to cover myself. This book is definitely something that I recommend for you guys to read. The next book was actually made into a movie adaptation, but If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. So this book is really, I read half of it, but I never finished it. All the books that I just showed you guys, I read all of them, but the 4 that I'm about to show you now, I haven't read them yet, but I plan on reading them this month. If Beale Street Could Talk, it's basically about this guy that gets arrested, and I think he gets arrested for rape or something like that. He gets arrested, and basically it just displays how unjust the justice system is towards black people, and also he's in a relationship with this girl who's pregnant at the time, so he's in jail and she's pregnant, and he's kind of trying to get out of jail because he wants to take care of his girl and his baby. So basically it just talks about how unjust the justice system is towards black people, and it's just a really insightful read. And I got to half of it, but I never finished it. I don't know why I never finished it, but that's something I used to do all the time. I used to start books and I would never finish them. The next book that I have, I literally chased this book for like a year, and when I finally got it, I never read it, but it's Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. So this story basically talks about like the life of African American men and just how they are in society and how they're treated in society. So Invisible Man, I haven't read it. I do really want to read it, so I'm gonna try and read it this month. I know it's gonna be a really important read. I tried to read it like about a month ago, but like I couldn't get into it. But Invisible Man is definitely something I would recommend, just because I know it's obviously going to be talking about like the black struggle and just how black people are like oppressed in society, and it's coming from like a perspective that everyone can understand. Because it's a story, it's coming from someone that can really explain it and everyone can understand it. So this one is really good. So I love that I showed you guys kind of from the perspective of a black man and the perspective of a black woman. I would definitely recommend the play, just because that's one of my favorite plays, and it's just a really amazing play. I'm gonna make a video talking about it just because I love that play so much, and it just displays every side of a black woman, like different perspectives from different black women. So it's really good. Another kind of obvious book, and it's Malcolm X, the autobiography of Malcolm X. So this book I have read halfway through it, but I never finished it because I would never finish books. That's just something I do. I start books and then I don't finish them because I lose interest. But Malcolm X, obviously Malcolm X is something that is a pivotal read for what is happening in the United States right now, and just what is happening towards black people right now. So Malcolm X is something I'll definitely plan on reading. I've been trying to read it. Honestly, it's really a really fun, it's a really easy and like enjoyable read. I don't know why I didn't finish it, but whenever I did read it, I tried to read it 2 times. I would like start it and I would really enjoy myself when I was reading it. Like, it's just a really like good book to read. It's educational and it's fun to read about Malcolm X's life at the same time. So this is something that's a really easy read if you guys just want to pick up something to kind of understand. So Malcolm X is really fun to read. The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter Godwin Woodson. This book, it basically talks about the miseducation of the Negro and how black people are miseducated. I never read this book, don't ask me why. So yeah, the Miseducation of the Negro is definitely something that I plan on reading, just because I want to know how I'm miseducated. Those are basically all the books that I would recommend in terms of like black literature and books that you can read to educate yourself on the subject of what's happening in the world right now. If you guys are not like really aware and you guys kind of want to learn more, I would definitely recommend these books, just because they're really like basic books in terms of like the black struggle. So yeah, those are the books that I really love. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.